You are listening to Raw Dog 104 on Sirius XM 150. This is Fake Carl Sagan on Sounds from Space. My guest here today on Starship Sagan 7 is the chair of the Theoretical Physics Department at City College of New York. He is also one of the stars of the scientific infotainment world. You may have seen him on presentations such as History Channel series The Universe and Discovery Channel series 2057. He is the author of several popular books, and he's here to discuss his latest book, a book called Low Calorie Comfort Food for the Soul. No, that's not right. This was a Martha Stewart interview. No, it's called Physics of the Impossible. Dr. Michio Kaku, thank you for appearing on Sounds from Space.
Well, thank you, Fake Carl. It's really a pleasure.
It's great to meet another theoretical physicist. As you know, I am one as well.
A fake theoretical physicist. That's right.
Very much. Now, I really find physics to be not only the most interesting, but the most challenging of the scientific disciplines. What drew you to physics initially in your career?
Two things. First, when I was a kid, I used to watch the old Flash Gordon series on TV like kids watch Star Trek today, and I was hooked. I mean, starships, ray guns, monsters from outer space. I mean, that was for me. But then when I was very young, a great scientist died. Everyone was talking about the fact that the greatest scientist of our era had just passed away. And on the evening news that night, they flashed a picture of his desk. On that picture was the caption, "Unfinished manuscript of the greatest unfinished work of the world's greatest scientist." That scientist was Albert Einstein.
I figured 1955, correct?
That's right. And that book fascinated me. I wanted to know what was in that book that could be so complicated that the greatest mind of my life could not finish it. And I said to myself, this is greater than any murder mystery. I wanted to finish that manuscript. Well, today we know that was the theory of everything, the final theory. And I said to myself, I want to help finish that theory. And we think we can do it now.
Now, on the theory of everything, I've done a tiny bit of reading about this. Now, this is something you're trying to, I guess, unify all the forces of the universe, which are, correct me if I'm wrong, we're talking about the strong force, the weak force, gravity, and electromagnetism. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, we want to unify the whole shebang in an equation 1 inch long that would allow us to, quote, read the mind of God. Think of E equals mc squared. That equation is half an inch long. That unlocked the secret of the stars. Now we want to unlock the secret of the Big Bang, the secret of life, the secret of the planets, maybe even the secret of love, in an equation 1 inch long. And this summer, we're going to test it. The Large Hadron Collider gets turned on, finally. The biggest machine of science, 27 miles in circumference.
Wow.
You could put Manhattan right inside the machine, and you wouldn't even notice.
Probably a pretty expensive maneuver there for putting Manhattan in there.
Well, yes. The machine costs $11 billion. And
we
are
say
going to
11
test
billion on that. We really emphasize that word billion.
Billions and billions.
That's right. Absolutely. We're talking to Dr. Michio Kaku. The book is called Physics of the Impossible, and there's been a lot of advanced praise about this book. It sounds very interesting. Now, we're talking in this book, as opposed to some of the other things that you've written, we're talking about, I guess, 3 classes of what you call impossibilities in physics. If you could elaborate on what that's all about.
Yeah, most of what you see in Star Trek and Star Wars is actually possible. I mean, lightsabers, a ray gun, jetpacks. I call these Class 1 impossibilities, invisibility, certain forms of teleportation. Class 2 may actually take 1,000 years. We're talking time travel, warp drive. Believe it or not, there are loopholes in Einstein's equations which may allow for time travel and warp drive. And then Class 3 impossibilities are simply downright impossible. Perpetual motion machines, precognition. We think those violate all the laws of physics.
Now, when we're talking about telekinesis, though, I mean, you really think it's possible? You ever seen Modern Problems with Chevy Chase?
No, I haven't.
You got to see that. It's hilarious. But he gets like toxic waste spilled on him, and he gets all these powers that he can like look at a cup and he can just sort of move it across the table. And that's what photokinesis is it not?
Telekinesis. Right. We can do a little bit of that in the laboratory right now. At Brown University, they took a person who is paralyzed because of a stroke, put an electrode in his brain, connected the electrode to a laptop, and in a few hours, he's answering emails, he's doing crossword puzzles, surfing the web, and he is paralyzed by pure thought. we can now begin to move objects around us, do anything that you can do on a laptop computer by the power of thought. And then with MRI scans, we can now actually read thoughts in the brain. When you tell a lie, your brain scan lights up like a Christmas tree because you have to know the lie, you have to know the cover-up, you have to know the consequences of the cover-up, and the consistency of the lie with all the other lies you've been telling all these years. That takes a lot of brain power.
Yeah, I can just see a lot of the practical applications for you. I mean, are you getting calls from the CIA and stuff?
Well, the CIA, of course, is obviously interested in this.
Yeah.
They want a dictionary of thought. This brain pattern corresponds to a dog. This brain pattern corresponds to a cat or a cow. That dictionary has about 10 words in it right now. However, in the future, it may have hundreds of words. And again, this is not perfect mind reading, but it's mind reading good enough so that you know more or less what people are thinking about it. And that's well within the laws of physics within 10 years.